What's up YouTube, it's Sean here, and I'm here today to give you guys my review of the Air Jordan 1 High 85 in this black and white colorway. Today's video is sponsored by Heffelux. When it comes to sneakers, comfort is king. So when you buy a pair of shoes and find out they're uncomfortable, one of the easiest ways to fix that is to swap out the insoles. So that's where Heffelux comes into play. If you check out their website, which I've linked down below in the description box, you'll see they sell a variety of eTPU insoles, which really is the same material you'll find inside Adidas Boost. So if you guys are curious to try a pair for yourself, be sure to use the code SEANGO at checkout and get 15% off your entire purchase, and be sure to tell them I sent you. So this right here is the latest 85 cut version of the Air Jordan 1 to release, and this black and white colorway is an original colorway from 1985. So this colorway last released in high top OG form back in 2014, but for this specific release it's given that 85 treatment, so it's supposed to look a little bit closer to the originals from the 80s, as opposed to the typical normal Air Jordan 1 High that we've come to know and love throughout the past few years. So these released back on February 15th for $200 US or 260 Canadian dollars, which is a price increase over the normal retro high OG silhouette. And the official colorway for this shoe is black and summit white. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box. So this comes in a red-based cardboard box, as opposed to the typical black-based cardboard box that normal Air Jordan 1 Highs usually come with. So we have Nike branding on the top in black, as well as on the sides of the box as well. So just like the other 85 colorways, the shoe comes attached with this cardboard hang tag, which is what the original Jordan 1s came with back in 1985. So this describes the tech specs and the breakdown of the Air Jordan 1, which is always something I really appreciate. It's really the little things that make the whole unboxing experience feel that much more special. So diving into the details of this shoe, so we start things off with the toe box. So here we have a smooth white colored leather, and we have these perforations found throughout, just like any other Air Jordan 1. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have this black colored leather, which in my opinion I thought had a bit more of a matte look to it. And there's something about this leather, so I think this black leather is probably going to be a bit more prone to scratches. Anyways, so moving on, this same black leather covers the eyelets of the shoe and it runs all the way to the top. And then beneath this on the quarter panel, we have more of that smooth white leather, and then overlaid on top of this, we have a black leather swoosh. Covering the side flaps or wings of the shoe, we have more of that black colored leather, and then on the lateral side only, we have the Air Jordan Wings logo, which is done in its contrast white finish. Above this, surrounding the top portion of the ankle collar area, we have more of that smooth white leather, and then surrounding the bottom of the heel, here we have more of that black leather once again. As far as the laces go, so these come with two different lace options. So they come with an extra white colored lace, but the default standard lace that they come with and the one that I prefer are just a normal flat style lace in black. Underneath this, we have your typical nylon tongue, which is entirely done in white, and on the very top we have this rectangular tag with Nike Air branding in black. Surrounding the interior of the shoe, this is covered in this black colored nylon finish, and this interior collar of the shoe feels decently well padded. It almost has a bit of a memory foam feel to the touch. And then pressed onto the medial side of the inner collar, here we have the size, which in this case is a size 10, and then the date of production and the factory code. And then moving on beneath this, so the insoles of these shoes are a very thick polyurethane foam insole, and it's covered in a white colored textile on top. Covering the Nike Air branding on the heel, just like the other 85 releases, it comes with a sticker, which includes various facts about this pair, including things like the model name, the style code, the size, and so on. But don't worry, this sticker is completely removable. And if you look at the insole from the side, you'll see how well padded and how thick this really is compared to the standard foam insoles that Jordan 1s normally come with. And then taking a look underneath the insoles, unlike your traditional Air Jordan 1, these 85 versions are actually board lasted, which is a great nod to how athletic shoes were produced back in the day. So the upper of these Jordan 1s sits atop this solid rubber cup sole, which is painted entirely in white. You'll see that the shape of this midsole is a little bit different. It has a bit more of a curved look to it, as opposed to the more straight look of modern day Jordan 1 High OGs. And you'll see that on the midsole itself, there's a very distinct pattern to it as well, which is more obvious than the pattern found on midsoles of Jordan 1s today. And encased within this midsole but not visible to the eye, there is a Nike Air unit within the heel of the shoe. Finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, so this outsole is completely constructed out of a black colored rubber. We have that same circular pivot point on the forefoot, and we have Nike branding found right in the center. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about sizing, To me, these fit like any of my other 85 Jordan 1s, so I personally stick true to size with a size 10. If you're comparing this one to the normal Jordan 1 High OGs, they definitely do fit a little bit different. So I feel like the snugness on this shoe is found right before the toe box, right around here. And starting from around this area right here and moving upwards around the midfoot, I feel like the 85 cut gives you more of a snug, contained one-to-one fit. But then if you're talking about the edge of the toe box, starting from where the perforations are until the edge, I feel like they're pretty wide foot friendly. So depending on where the width of your foot really is, if that wide point is somewhere further back, which is where that first lace sits, then you'd probably want to consider going up a half size. Keep in mind though, the 85 cut also runs a little bit longer, so getting these in my true size, there's about a thumb's width between the edge of the shoe and the top of my toe. Compare this to a normal Jordan 1, and if I go true to size in those, there's about an index finger's width in comparison. So it's kind of a catch-22. Again, this shoe fits a little bit more narrow, but it's also a bit more long. So if you have really narrow feet, I feel like you could go a half size down, but if your feet are any wider than that, then I probably wouldn't risk it, and I'd just stick true to size, or if anything, go up a half size if you have really wide feet, and just deal with that extra length. Moving on to the comfort, so these feel pretty comfortable on feet. Keep in mind though, the 85 cut leather, it definitely needs to be broken in, but in my past experience, the more you wear them, the more you soften up that leather, they really will form to your feet and break in nicely. And once you do that, they feel a lot more comfortable. So you might think straight out of the box, it feels kind of clunky, kind of heavy, and the leather isn't soft at all. So that's perfectly normal. So you just gotta be patient. You gotta really wear these in and break them in. And then after that, I feel like they're more comfortable than a normal Jordan 1 High. That polyurethane insole is super, super thick, so it has a ton of cushioning under your foot. It's just a matter of softening that upper and breaking in that leather. Finally, in terms of the overall quality and craftsmanship, so first off, material quality, I thought it was just okay. This white leather that they use has a bit of a synthetic coating on top of it, so when you run your fingers across it, you don't see any of those leather grains. But it does feel like a decently thick cut of leather, so I'll give them that. And in contrast, the black leather that they use, I thought the quality of this leather was a little bit better. At least to the touch, it definitely felt more like a quality, genuine leather. And like I mentioned before, it almost seems like it's a little bit more delicate. So I'd probably try to be a little bit more careful and avoid scratching this up, because in my guess, I'd think that this leather is a bit more susceptible to scratching and being damaged. But aside from that though, the overall build and craftsmanship, I thought it was just okay. I thought the panels on my shoe were cut fairly consistently, and the stitch job was okay. It wasn't perfect, but it was decent. But there were a lot of glue stains around this midsole area where it connects to the upper, so that was a little bit disappointing considering the higher price point we're paying for this 85 edition. So with all that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet. I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. I know there's a lot of hype surrounding this colorway because it is very similar, unfortunately, to the Panda Dunk. So I know people have been calling this the Panda Air Jordan 1s, which is something I personally disagree with, but I can see why this shoe is popular among the masses. It's a very simple shoe, black, white, and it's an Air Jordan 1. That's pretty much a recipe for success. And because this is an 85 edition, this makes it a little bit more limited than your normal Air Jordan 1 High OGs. So that probably explains why this shoe is reselling for a decent amount on the secondary market. For me though, honestly, it's not necessarily a colorway of the Air Jordan 1 that I absolutely have to have. When I think of Jordan 1 colorways, iconic ones come to mind like the Chicagos, the Breads, the Royals, Black Toes, even other colorways like the Shadows and the Metallic series. So I wouldn't necessarily put this near the top of my list, but for sure I respect it because of the fact that it is an original colorway and it is a very easy shoe to pull off. Luckily for me, I was able to grab these for retail, but if I struck out on these, I don't think I would pay the resale prices just to add this to my personal collection. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this black and white Air Jordan 1 Highs. What are your overall thoughts on this colorway and this 85 edition? And for anyone watching, were you guys able to grab these for retail? Did you take an L and pay resale for these? Or was it not really your thing and you passed on these altogether? If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, follow my Twitter account at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and hopefully I helped you in some way. Thank you for the continued love and support, and I'll catch all of you in my next review.